Greetings, listeners. Welcome to yet another interesting and informative podcast in the series Emotional Transformation with Ms. Pallavi Sharma. In this episode, we will dive into the themes of insecurity, jealousy, and introspection. I am Taheli Bhaduri and I'll be your host for the day. Today, we are joined by Ms. Pallavi Sharma. She is a mind emotion coach, metaphysical healer, NLP and EFT master, and a psychotherapist. Welcome back, ma'am, to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Taheli, for a very warm welcome once again. It's indeed my pleasure to see you and having another conversation with you. Thank you for having me.
Ma'am, the pleasure is all ours. It is so exciting. I get so excited to meet you every time. Like as a psychology geek, I really enjoy it. And let's start today. Well, I have a friend who is kind of a social media influencer.
Do it.
Okay? And she has kind of a big following, and she opens up about the hate that she receives. And the worst part is that this is very, very common. It's almost like influencers are told that not to feel about it, you shouldn't feel bad about it because it is part of their job. This hate comes through people leaving comments like, I'm sorry, y'all, she isn't even that pretty, or sending people DM like, stop putting on makeup, go study. Now, my question is, where is this coming from? What possibly could be the reason why people say things like this to people whom they hardly even know?
That's actually a very sensitive concern these days, Taheli, and sadly, this is so common. However, technology has given us this advantage to get connected with each other, but we misuse it as well. And these people, in the term, we call it the trolls. They are the trollers and they troll people. However, it's a crime. So everybody who is listening us, who do it intentionally, unintentionally, do remember that it's a cyber crime and you can be committed or punished for it. I should be saying that. And why do people do it? There is no one reason for it, Taheli. Most of these trollers either do it for some kind of revenge if they know people in person, or some attention seeking because they believe they aren't having the right frame. They do it out of boredom as well. They just do it for fun too. There is no one reason. But the common traits all the trollers have are the dark side of the personality. They do it because they are insecure. They do it because they are sadistic in their real lives. They do it because they feel an emotional void in their life, and they feel that projecting their own insecurity onto other people can make them empowered, can make them feel empowered. So it's nothing in our hands, to be honest, because we can't go and preach people and tell people don't do it. How we handle it, that is in our hands, and that your friend should also learn it, because yes, it does affect us mentally, emotionally, but we need to learn getting ahead of it. No, not focusing on the trollers or the trolling or the negative comments, or seeing the brighter side of it. Yeah.
Very well said, ma'am. It is like, it's going to be everywhere. It is true when they say that it is part of your job. They are speaking the truth. You cannot escape it to a degree. You cannot escape it. So it is better to ignore that side of the job altogether. But you talked about the dark side of personality and these darker human emotions like jealousy, insecurity, and feeling emotional void. But these may be dark, but at the end of the day, these are human emotions. But there is so much negativity associated with it, but also like a bit of shame associated with these emotions that may lead us to not feel comfortable with talking about it. And I guess that's what leads us to like pulling other people down. So my question for you is, how can we use these emotions as a tool for self-improvement?
See, until and unless you know that there is a void in you and you need to work upon yourself, nothing can work for you. So yes, all the emotions are the natural human emotions, be it jealousy, envy, happiness, excitement, anger. They all are very natural emotions. But how you are processing those emotions, that is most important. So until and unless you feel that, yes, I need to work upon myself, nothing will work for you, right? And if, say, for instance, let's assume that somebody realizes that he trolls people because he feels that there is a void in himself. He is insecure about something. That's why he's trolling somebody. So let me get within or go within and see, find myself. So the very first basic is to find out the reasons, what is triggering him, which we call the triggers. What is triggering him to troll people, to say bad about people, or to feel negative about your own self? So it deeps down to your self-esteem issues, to your low self-esteem issues, I should say. So all the trollers across have a low self-esteem problem. They believe that they are not worthy enough. So instead of coming up, they like to pull people down. And that's unconscious. They do not even know that. That's how they have created this defense mechanism for them. It's in psychology, we call it a defense mechanism, where we do not know we are doing it, but we are unconsciously behaving in that manner. So until and unless you believe that I can do something better, that's a first step that is called the self-awareness. You need to believe that there is a scope where you can grow, learn and grow. Then second comes finding out those triggers within you, which is pushing you to behave in a certain manner, be it anger, be it jealousy, be it envy. Why are you feeling that? Then the third would be finding a confidant or a support system. That could be your teacher, that could be your best friend, that could be somebody else. You can hire a coach, you can hire a mentor, go to a therapist, maybe your parents, anybody with whom you can share, or who has actually a growth mindset as well. That is more important, because these days, sadly, still the mental health stigmas are prevalent. They are still the taboos. People are not very comfortable talking about their mental health struggles. And that's why they suffer a lot. So these three would be the essential steps which you need to focus upon for your own self-improvement. And the fourth one, is to be more compassionate towards yourself. You need not to pull yourself guilty about the things which you have done already. That is past. Even if you have bullied someone or hurt someone or made some damage in your anger or jealousy or any kind of negative emotion, it's important to know that you have passed through it and now I'm going to be a better person. So do a lot of self-care regime with yourself that helps you be more self-compassionate. When you are compassionate with yourself, you will spread the compassion and the love with other people, and that will really help you in the long term.
I deeply appreciate how you spoke about this topic with such compassion and empathy and understanding towards where these people are coming from. And we can find ourselves within these people as well, because as you said, this is an unconscious behavior. We all at some point might have done them, might have engaged in them. And it is important that we reflect. And I think that's a very important point that you also mentioned, that it is going to start from your own way. You will have to identify that there is a void in you, and then you go seek help.
There's a very famous English proverb, now you can't pour from an empty cup. So whatever you have within you, you will only give that to the people. So you have love within, you will spread love. You have negativity within, you will spread the negativity. So now you have to choose what you are going to fill your cup.
That is so apt for this. That is such a good anecdote for this. You talked about defense mechanisms, and as I know that there are emotional suppression, displacement, and projection. Would you like to tell us more about them? And if we can use them we know that these exist and we might use them in our daily life. unconsciously or not, then can we like use it in a healthy manner? What do you say?
To be honest, okay, let's begin with the defense mechanism first. This has been coined by Sigmund Freud, and he's the father of psychology. We all these psychology people, he is literally our father. He's the father of psychoanalysis. And he coined these terms, the 8 major defense mechanism, primarily on this concept that the mind has the major 3 components, the id, the ego, and the superego. And all these defense mechanisms, what should I say, stay in your superego component to protect your self-esteem. Whenever you feel in any kind of threatening or stressful situation, these unconscious behaviors come in. So defense mechanisms are nothing but a set of unconscious behaviors of you, which automatically comes in when you are in any kind of threatening or distressful situation. So every person has a unique set of defense mechanism, and that all also stems from your upbringing, your environmental conditioning. Everybody won't be having the same. Everybody won't be having all of the defense mechanisms. There would be 1 or 2 dominating defense mechanisms. So projection, displacements, they are the defense mechanism where we attribute our own emotions onto other people. So projection actually is that defense mechanism where we project our own emotions onto other person. For example, say, for instance, a guy is cheating his fiancée or his wife, for that matter. A husband is cheating his wife. But instead of accepting that, he is suspicious of his wife that she might be cheating on him. So that's kind of projection, because you have done one mistake in your past. So you believe that everybody is going to do the same, either with you or with someone else. So you judge the people on those parameters. So that is projection. And this is a very common defense mechanism to safeguard your ego. Nobody can put a finger on you, so you start pointing finger on other people. And that's very common. This is very common. Denial is very common. That is another very strong defense mechanism where we deny the existence of the reality. Either in a trauma, in a shock, or in a general state of emotion, we deny that it never happened. It never happens with me. I never do it. I can't do it. No, that's kind of thing. Displacement is the one where that's a kind of defense mechanism where you transfer your emotional burden to someone else. So the best way is to that someone else should be the something instead of someone. For instance, if I explain it with an example that a father comes home from a work after a stressful and a tiring work, and he starts shouting on his child who is playing around because he's stressed, he wants rest, he wants maybe a sleep, but a child is playing or wants to play with the father, but father is now yelling either on his child or on his wife for not doing the work or for not serving the food properly. So that's kind of a displacement. He had the anger for his boss maybe, or for not completing the task on time, but he displaced his anger on his child or on his wife. We also do it. We all somewhere, somehow, in the midst of the frustration or the anger, we shout at somebody, we do at somebody. So it's another common defense mechanism. It can help you only when you know that you're not going to shout on somebody and you're not going to hurt somebody. So instead, in the same example, if I say the father comes home, he's upset, he knows that a child is playing, the wife is also tired. So instead of yelling at them, he went back to his room, or he silently doing something which displaces his anger, right? Either putting his mouth on a pillow, under a pillow, or going in a washroom and then yelling, then shouting, whatever is letting him displace his anger, but not on the people. Then only this displacement can be a beneficial or a good defense mechanism for you. But usually we don't do it. In our unconscious set of pattern, emotional behavioral pattern, we all obviously and almost yell at our closed ones. And that's why we say that we hurt most our people, the people whom we love the most, because that's how we displaced. And what else you asked about? How can they become a good friends of ours, right? They can't be. Because there are unconscious set of behaviors. Out of all those what Freud has devised, now there are more than 20, by the way. Now all the psychiatrists, the research have been done. Anna, his daughter, Anna Freud, she had also devised, established more defense mechanisms after these 8 as well. And out of all those, there is only one which is named sublimation. There it's the best practice. And what happens in sublimation is that you know you are angry. So instead, you are doing something where you can stress it out. Like, for instance, you go out and you go for a long walk. You are disturbed today and you go for a long walk without talking, not talking to anybody, not speaking to anyone. You just went to a long walk till the time you are tired and all those emotions are out from your mind. Or you start playing your favorite guitar, or you start doing some sketching, whatever you like. So displacing your anger into something useful, into something constructive, that is sublimation. And that can only help you to become a better person. Otherwise, all these defense mechanisms are only our defense mechanisms to safeguard our ego. So that's how they actually play the role, and a very important role rather in our life.
Wow, that was so insightful.
I hope I have not bored you with a lot of information.
No, you didn't. You actually made me much more excited. And I'm pretty sure a lot of our listeners are also intrigued by, or I'm pretty sure like they're trying to like find what defense mechanism they use in their daily life, or is their dominant defense mechanism. And the sublimation part that you mentioned, that seems really helpful. Like, it is something we can do on a regular basis when we feel emotionally overwhelmed or stressed out. And it is quite simple and it doesn't take much effort, and also it feels good. So that's
yes. Even in all my counseling therapy sessions, I advocate the same thing to everybody. No matter what dominant side you have, you can always switch it to a better one. So go out and do something which you really enjoy, and literally your stress, your anger would wane off very quickly.
I'm taking your advice to my heart, and I'm going to use this every time I'm emotionally overwhelmed. And listeners, you can too. Okay, now I'll come back to the social media part. And social media's existence and like social comparison in general, it often leads us to pretending to be someone we are not. And especially when we are teenagers, when we are still finding ourselves, we don't know who we exactly are, or like figuring out things. ऐसे टाइम में हम external validation seek करते हैं, and we often end up feeling empty and lonely inside. How can we overcome this? What are your suggestions? And also, when we seek emotional validation from external sources, we will get a feedback, and the nature of it will be either constructive or hateful or destructive in some manner. So how can we differentiate it in terms of like emotionally? हम like कुछ चीजें सुन लेते हैं, like दिमाग को पता होता है कि ये ऐसा है, but दिल नहीं मानता, So how do we deal with that? What are your suggestions?
Okay, so for your first question about the external validation, we all seek somewhere, but how much you need to take in is all on you. Okay, and the people who rely very much on to the external validation have again an issue of the low self-esteem or a low self-confidence, because they believe what they are doing is not so good, so they seek the approval from others, right? However, it is good. We all are social people. We need to connect with each other. We learn and grow with each other. But till the time that becomes a dependency on you, this is going to be a wrong thing, a wrong part rather. So until the time it's just an advice, maybe a criticism, maybe a feedback, whatever, but it is not, what should I say, influencing your self-esteem, it is good. So everybody needs to make that judgment with what the limit is I am drawing, or what the boundary I am making for others to provide me the feedback. First thing. Second, it's very important to take the criticism only from your inner circle. People whom you rely upon. Again, I would name like your teachers, your mentors, maybe your parents, or anybody who is a confidant in you, who is more matured, more successful, more learned, more intelligent, and have seen the life more than you. Make an inner circle of such people. Even if there are two, that would be enough for you. So seek criticism or the feedback from these kind of people. Social media criticism, random criticism by people, that's really not worthy to even give a little consideration to. So we should absolutely discard them. However, if somebody random comes up to you and say something nice to you, and you believe that, okay, this is something I can work upon, why not? Why not to take a decision or an idea which can uplift you? So again, constructive criticism will always help you to do something better in your life. And that is a clear-cut differentiation from the destructive criticism. And very important thing I would like to mention here, the criticizer, the constructive people only criticizes your work, your creation, whatever you have done. The destructive criticism targets you. So all the trollers target you. All the bullies target you. All the people who want bad, they target you. They won't say anything bad about the work. The whole center is you. However, the constructive criticizers focuses on the work you have done. What is left out? What could be better in that? How could you make better out of it? They focuses on that. They are problem solving. No, they don't provide hate comments to you or demean you or target your self-esteem. So these two are very clear differentiation between the constructive and the destructive criticism. And we must consciously choose the people who are helping us to become better. So by any chance, if even that happens in your inner circle, by the way, that can happen in your inner circle as well, that somebody is not in a good state of mind and telling you something which is hurtful, which is painful. So don't take that so personally. Nothing in this world is so important which can hurt you in that manner that it scars your soul or it scars your self-esteem. Do always remember that. And if somebody is trying to do that, please maintain a distance. So that's my advice to all the listeners here also. If there is anybody in your public domain, in your personal domain, if there is somebody who's trying to harass you or pulling you down, just maintain a healthy distance. That's it. That's important.
Now I call that a mic drop. You just hit the nail on the coffin, and absolutely, it is so true that it is just the clearest difference there can be, that trollers will always target you, and people who actually want to see you grow will target your work. They will tell you what they will point out what you can improve. And yeah, you just there are no doubts.
I'm happy to see your reactions. I'm happy.
I think there is this common, like throughout our conversation, I noticed this common theme. So I would like to ask you a little, like one more extra question, and that is self-esteem and self-confidence. How can we, like all of this that we talked about today, in some way or the other, stem from that self-esteem issue? So what are your suggestions for that, and especially for teenagers?
Okay. So see, sadly, you don't realize it until it becomes a very painful event, and until any painful or traumatic event happens in your life and you realize, okay, this is something wrong in me. But thankfully, nowadays, since the technology, because of this technology, we can read, we can connect with people, and we can learn a lot, like what we are doing right now. So teenagers usually do not know about the self-esteem, self-worth. They are whole. To be honest, after you become a teenager, you are whole. Once you come into a teenage from 12 to 18 years of age, your personality starts shaping. Your beliefs are started forming. Your experiences are giving you another perspective to make a belief. So this is a very crucial age. And that's why I guess during this age, the kids are very adamant. They want to try. They are very experimental because they want to learn on their own. So this would be, I think, more than the kids, I would like to advise the parents to be more empathetic towards their kids, because until you let them try, until you let them commit mistakes, they won't be having a confidence once they are adult to make it on their own. And that will decrease their self-esteem. So the more the mistakes you do right now, the more experiences you'll be getting in your life. And the more confidence you'll be getting in your life, and the high self-esteem you'll be having in your life. So it all starts from this age. And the teenagers now all are on the social media as well. So trolling is very common. Of course, you all have a tender heart, not have seen much of the world. And you believe that whatever people are saying, it is true. Nothing is true. Nothing. Only what your heart is saying, that is true. So if you believe that there is something to improve in yourself, please work on yourself. If you believe that, no, I am good enough, that yes, you are good enough. That's it. So your self-esteem is proportional to your thoughts you are feeding to yourself. So feed good thoughts. You are good, you're good looking, you are smart, you're presentable, you are communicable, you are admiring, you are charming. Keep on saying this to you because you are. You might not be good for somebody, and that's fine. Because everybody, see, all fingers are not same, right? And this is the perfect example. The God has already given us the enough enlightenment in our life. If we focus upon that if our own hand is not the same, why everybody would like us as well in the same quantity or in the same proportion? Somebody likes us more, somebody not. That's fine. Create the people, create that circle which likes you more. Find those people who loves you more. Find those people who uplifts you more, which adds to your self-esteem. And there you go.
That was such a lovely response. And as a teenager myself, I'm very touched. And I'm pretty sure others will relate to the things that you said as well, and how much it actually means to us to have these feelings validated from especially a psychotherapist. And throughout the episode, you spoke with such empathy and such understanding. And this has been one of the most insightful conversations that I've ever had. I'm so happy that I am here today and that I got to talk to you. And ma'am, do you have any last message that you'd like to leave for our listeners?
Okay, I actually had given my last message in the last answer, but still I would propagate the same once again to every one of you, be whatever age you are in, because we all suffer from somewhere, from lack of self-worth, from lack of self-esteem. We do have our own share of struggles, but those struggles are the stepping stones to become a better person in life. So those failures, those challenges, those struggles, don't treat them as your enemy, treat them as your best friends. Keep them close to you so that you can learn from them and you can grow. Because till the time you die, you literally have a time to grow, to learn, and to become better. That's it.
And with this amazing and inspiring message, we close today's conversation. Thank you so much, Pallavi ma'am, for being with us today. Stay tuned for our next episode. Be happy, be safe, and take care.
Thank you. Thank you.